We visited the Conrad Bora Bora in April of 2025, and in this video we're going to share with you about our trip and tell you what we thought about the resort. So we flew from SFO to Tahiti, and when you land at Tahiti, they have performers when you walk in, which is really cool. We've never seen that at an airport before.
Yeah, so we got to listen to that while we were going through customs, and the custom line was not the best organized, so it did take a little bit to get through, but not too bad. But we were in business class, so we got off first, and I think that really helped.
Yeah, so again, if you're at the very front of the plane, expect about 30-minute wait through customs. And it's also very, very warm while you're waiting there. So ideally, if you could be wearing shorts when you get off the plane, that would be more comfortable.
Yes.
So after we got through customs in Tahiti, we went to find an ATM because I had read online that it's good to have cash just in case it's needed for any small shops or for the taxis. And so when you go out of the arrival area, if you go to the right and go to the end, you will find the ATMs. So we pulled out about 15,000 francs, which is about $150. And then we went to the taxi area, which when you cross the street and go to the right, you'll see the taxis lined up there. And right when we got in the taxi, we saw the sign that said cash only. So we were very glad that we had cash. The 6-minute ride over to our small hotel called Tappua Lodge cost about 2,400 francs, which is about $24. So we just thought about the conversion of just take off 2 zeros to get to the approximate United States dollar amount. Tappua Nui Lodge was perfect for our one-night quick stay. It was a cute little room. It was comfortable. They had the AC blasting, which was really nice. And they even gave us a little video tour before we got there to navigate to our room, which was convenient. They ordered a taxi for us the following morning, and we arrived to the airport around 6:30 a.m. for our 8 a.m. flight to Bora Bora on Air Moana. So what we learned and some tips for going through that domestic line is have your ticket out ready because they scan it right before you go through the metal detector.
Yeah, so we're used to, scanning the boarding pass and then going through security, putting all your stuff away. Here, you scan the boarding pass as you're going through security.
The domestic area for waiting, well, the whole airport area is it's very warm. It is not air conditioned, so just make sure you're wearing shorts and you're ready to be sitting in a warm area for some time.
And there's not very many options for breakfast. They had a McDonald's, but when we went, it's breakfast, and they said they were out of eggs, or we couldn't really communicate with them, so that's the impression we had, that they didn't have any eggs.
Yeah, so we took a picture of the menu and used the translator, and it did say no eggs. But we aren't sure if that was a normal thing here or if that was just something for that McDonald's in the Tahiti airport. If you fly on Air Moana, you do get a small chocolate croissant that'll hopefully hold you over until you get to your resort.
It's only about a 50-minute flight, so it wasn't a big issue.
So you walk on the tarmac straight to the airplane, and it's a beautiful flight over to Bora Bora.
Yeah, we got this. They don't go very high, so you're able to see the, surrounding ocean, and we flew over Moorea, so it was nice to see that on the way over.
So when you walk into the very small Bora Bora airport, you will see the little huts for each of the luxurious resorts that they have in Bora Bora. So we went over to the Conrad Bora Bora, and they give you a lei and take your luggage and then walk you over to the shuttle boat. So it's a 15 to 20 minute ride over from the Bora Bora airport to the Conrad Bora Bora. Conrad is on a separate small island that is next to the main island. When you arrive to the Conrad Bora Bora, they were playing music and they offer you some nice refreshments.
Be careful.
Thank you. Thank you. it was a good tasting jasmine tea that they gave us upon
Hmm.
check-in. And so you get to sit down and relax, and then they come over, take your passports, and help check you in.
So after they checked us in, they took us on a tour of the property, and then they took us to our room.
We have coral gardens, and you can ask the marine biologist to tell you the path to follow to saw the corals.
So let's talk about our Overwater Villa. We originally were booked in a lagoon view suite and we were upgraded thanks to our Hilton Diamond status to a deluxe Overwater Villa. So we had room 203, and what was nice about it was that it was very centrally located, so it was easy to go over to the restaurants and the main beach.
Yeah, it was only about a 5 minute walk or like a 2 minute bike ride. So it was really nice just to go wherever we needed to go.
The only bad thing about being located at these villas, which is by the check-in area, is that you see all the boats coming in, so they go kind of close to the front of your room.
Yeah, it's a little, distracting, but that's kind of the price we pay for the convenience. Because there are villas that are far further away, but then you have a lot further to travel when you want to go to the bar or the pool. Overall, I think it's a nice trade-off.
If you want to see a full tour of our Overwater Villa, we'll put a link right here. So the next thing we want to talk about is the resort grounds. So the Conrad Bora Bora is a beautiful resort. They definitely keep the place up well. There is construction going on right now, and it wasn't too much of a bother for us. There were times where we were on our balcony of our villa and we could hear the construction during the day. But I mean, it's kind of like you're hearing a lawnmower from afar, so it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. We were actually like one of the closest bungalows to the construction, and it wasn't very intrusive.
Yeah, and so you see them working on the property. So it's like the tennis court area, and there was one day where they're working on the bridge on the way to our room. But again, yeah, it wasn't something that I would say, oh, don't book the Conrad Bora Bora because of this. So the Conrad has a few restaurants on property, and that's the Terava Pool Bar, the Temure Beach Grill, Upa Upa Lounge, Banyan Restaurant, and Iritai Restaurant. So let's start with the Terava Pool Bar. So if you want to eat lunch at the Conrad, you only have two options, and that's the Terava Beach Bar or the Temure Beach Grill.
And it's basically one option because they have the same menu.
Yeah, so we got tired of lunch pretty fast here just because there aren't a whole lot of things on the menu.
Yeah, they have, 4 or 5 different pizzas, some different sandwiches, a couple fresh salads, but it was kind of a small menu. And then again, it's shared between 2 restaurants and it's the same for dinner. So it was a bit much, I guess, when that's the only place to eat. So I guess we were hoping for a little more variety for lunch.
There is room service, but it's basically the same
Yeah.
menu as well.
There's a couple different items on room service, but it's essentially the same menu as the beach grill.
Yeah, so some items that we ate at the Terava Pool Bar was the pizza. And so we tried the pepperoni pizza and the truffle pizza. The pepperoni one was good. We don't recommend the truffle one.
It was not our favorite. It was okay. It's just there's a lot of mushrooms on there. But we had the burger, which I thought was fine.
And I didn't really care for.
Yeah.
The french fries were good.
Mm-hmm.
We also tried the crispy chicken, and I liked that, but I think you...
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite, but it was good. It's kind of like a panko fried chicken.
For dinner, you can eat at Banyan, Iritai, and Upa Upa. And so the first night we ate at Banyan.
Which is a Chinese restaurant.
We ordered the kung pao chicken, the sweet and sour pork, the vegetable fried rice, and the wok fried noodles.
Yeah, so we enjoyed the sweet and sour pork, but the other three dishes were not what we're used to. For us, it was a one and done type of thing. We didn't have a desire to eat there again after eating there for the first night.
We ate dinner twice at the Upa Upa Lounge, and that has a sushi bar, and they also have regular dishes there as well. So, like one night I ordered the sushi bowl, which is just rice and chicken and vegetables.
Yeah, strangely enough, the sushi bowl didn't have any fish in there.
Yeah. And I thought it was okay. The vegetables in that bowl were pretty good, but the rest of it was okay for me.
I like the flavor of the rice in that one.
We really liked the vegetable tempura, so we recommend ordering that at Upa Upa.
Yeah, it's probably the best vegetable tempura that I've ever had. So I would recommend that for sure. So I ordered the dragon roll and the caterpillar roll, and I enjoyed both of them. I preferred the caterpillar to the dragon, but like I said, they were both really good.
We also ordered the miso soup, which we thought was decent. And we ordered the steak. Like, it's 4 strips of steak, and I thought it was okay. So overall, we did like Upa Upa Lounge.
Yes.
The last restaurant is Iritai Restaurant, which has French cuisine, and we ordered the tomahawk steak.
The tomahawk was 13,000 francs, and it's for 2 people to share, but honestly, it was so big, I wish they would let 4 people share it. I mean, we didn't ask, so.
Yeah, and it comes with truffle mashed potatoes and a salad. And it was probably the best meal we had, besides the Polynesian buffet. I also really enjoyed that.
Yeah. But yeah, it was really good. The truffle mashed potatoes were a hit, and then that salad was really good. I like the dressing that came with it.
Another dish I had here was the bonbon ravioli, and it was absolutely delicious. And Joseph also enjoyed his rack of lamb. We also had the breakfast every morning at Iritai. They have a large selection of pastries. I really enjoyed their croissants. Those were delicious. They had a selection of fruits and yogurts, and they had hot foods such as eggs, bacon, and ham. They even have a crepe cart where you can order your crepes. You can even order off of the menu. So this is the Eggs Benedict we ordered, and this is the French toast that we ordered, which comes with the delicious cream. On Tuesdays at the Conrad, they have Tappua Nui, which is a haka and fire show that comes with a Polynesian buffet. I recommend booking a reservation for 5:30 so that you can get the best view. And so they start seating from like 5:30, I think, until 6:30. And we had a reservation for 6, but we had it for 4 people. This whole area is set up for 2s, so 2s is where you're going to have the best seating. So if you're in a group of 4, just do 2 groups of 2, get it there at 5:30, and you can get the best seating at the front to get a good view of the show.
Yeah, because we were a bigger table. They put us in the back, so we had to go around some heads to be able to see. But we were still able to, it's still a great performance. So we definitely recommend while you're here. And on top of that, it gives you a little more variety for the dinner options.
So at 6 p.m., they start the Polynesian buffet, and they had chicken, fish, pork. There were a lot of options for meats and sides. There was a salad bar, there was a seafood bar, and even a dessert area.
Yeah, my favorite was the grilled fish. It was some of the best fish I've had, and I also really like the coconut bread, which is kind of like a coconut cornbread type thing. So it was interesting to try so much new cuisine. So definitely recommend. And they're playing live music the whole time too while you're eating, so it's really nice to just take all that in.
Yeah, so at 6, it's the buffet plus the live music, and then at 7 is when the show begins. So the show features dancers, and there is a part of the show where they get audience involvement as well, so that was fun if you enjoy dancing.
Yeah, you had to go up there and dance, and how did you like that?
Yeah, I thought it was fun because I like to dance. It's very hard to do the dancing that they have, but it was still a fun experience.
Yeah.
And at the end, you have the option to do group pictures with the performers as well. So that was pretty cool. There are a lot of water activities that you can do at the resort. So we did kayaking one day, which was pretty tiring, but we eventually figured out how to do the paddling.
Yes. Yeah, it's a learning curve, but once you get it down, it's nice. It's pretty relaxing, but it's also a nice workout.
It's a workout for sure.
And then we basically snorkeled every day that we've been here. So it's really nice to just go see all the different marine life. So, we saw last night, we saw some rays in the water. We saw a reef shark.
Yeah, so it's cool because, right, if you have an overwater villa, you can see down into the water. And when it's starting to get nighttime, that's where we've spotted the stingrays and an eagle ray pass by.
Yeah, even the fish are super active. They're jumping out of the water. Yeah, it's really cool to sit out there and take it in.
You can pick up your snorkels by the pool, and they also have complimentary reef safe sunscreen there along with aloe, which was nice. So we picked up the snorkels here, and you're supposed to return them on a daily basis, which was a pain. But besides that, the problem I had was water kept blinking into my mask, which would cause me issues while I was snorkeling. So I had coming up and pushing out the water. And so if you can, bring your own snorkel, but if not, you can make the masks at the resort work. Just return them until you get a good pair that works. So we eventually did find a nice pair for snorkeling. There's also a lot of coral rehabilitation on the property. So as you're snorkeling around, you can see all of the different structures that they've made with rehabilitating that coral.
Yeah, they have a marine biologist that actually works here and takes care of the rehabilitation, and then also provides some education to the guests. And we attended 2 of his classes, and it was really cool to understand and see and learn a little bit about what they're doing here. So it's nice to do.
Yeah, shout out to Paul, who we kept seeing at the resort. So we went to his conference in the afternoon. He also has a snorkeling briefing in the mornings. So he shows you a map of all of the coral in the area, and he also shows you the fish that you can see while you're snorkeling. Another activity opportunity here is the golf simulator. So it's on the far end of the property, and you can book a 1-hour session for up to 6 people for 16,000 francs.
Yeah, so it's like $160. So it's a little pricey, but it was a nice experience, kind of a gift to the father-in-law. So he enjoyed that. So it was nice though. They also rent it out for movies, and they have different games on there too, which is kind of interesting setup.
Bikes are provided at the resort to help you get around easier, and we used our bikes every day to go to breakfast, to go to dinner, everything. We were just constantly using our bikes back and forth.
Yeah, the one gripe I have is that there are some of the bikes that aren't in the best shape. So a lot of times the brakes don't work that well, or they're kind of, squeaking as you're riding down the path.
But overall, we really liked having the bikes here to get around the property easier. There's also a shuttle that you can take that's complimentary from the Conrad, and you can take it over to the main island. They have a few times available each day for leaving the resort and coming back. So we did the session from 1:15 to 4:30. It's a quick 10-minute ride over to the main island. And about 5 minutes after we arrived there, it started pouring rain. And so that left us right by the Aloe Cafe, where we stopped to have lunch for the day.
Yeah, and it was actually a very conveniently place to get stranded, but it was a really good meal. I didn't have high expectations, but we all 4 of us really enjoyed the food we ordered. I ended up ordering like a roasted pork dish, and it reminded me of like a pork knuckle from Germany. But yeah, we both enjoyed the meals we got.
So on the main island, you can walk around and do some shopping. Keep in mind they don't have sidewalks in that area, so it does feel a little bit dangerous. Like if you had a little child running around, it might feel a little scary with the cars zooming by, but they aren't too fast. So yeah, you can go and do your shopping.
They have a lot of jewelry stores selling pearls, and then of course quite a few souvenir shops. But it's a little pricey. We're kind of shocked by how expensive things were, but I guess that's the island inflation.
Yeah, so we saw shirts on average were about $37 and up. And we went into the grocery store and we saw that like a large bag of Cheetos was almost $20.
Yeah, we were shocked.
So walking around the island, we got to do that shopping, but we did get pretty warm pretty fast. And if you do need a place to cool off, about a 5-minute walk from the shuttle pickup drop-off area, there is a gelato place. So we went there and got to cool down a bit and enjoy some gelato.
Yeah, it was a real nice find, and I recommend the creme brulee flavor. It was pretty tasty.
So overall thoughts of the resort, it's a beautiful resort. The waters of Bora Bora are very blue and beautiful. If you're concerned about weather, we experienced really beautiful weather, even though like when we checked the weather before we got here, it said rain every single day. But the weather has been beautiful for the majority of our visit here. It's only rained at night and in the morning when we try to go see the sunrise. But besides that, during the day, it's been really, really beautiful weather.
Yeah, calm ocean, nice snorkeling. So yeah, highly recommend. It's a great time of year to visit during April.
Yeah, so overall, we recommend visiting the Conrad Bora Bora Nui Resort.